لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تبعه بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. You're listening to Insight Audio. I'm your host, Abu Muhammad al-Louisiani. And on this day, Saturday, the 23rd of Sha'ban, 1432, the 22nd of July, 2011, we bring you another talk by our brother, Uways Abdullaah Ahmad Alee, rahimahullah. The Virtues of Ramadhaan by Sheikh Abu Abdullaah Aziz ibn Abdullah ibn Abdul Rahman al-Baz, rahimahullah. And this was a recording that was done in Newark, New Jersey. Our Sheikh Abdul Aziz ibn Baz, he died Thursday, the 27th of Muharram, 1420, May the 13th, 1999. Rahimahullah. This was a conference held by Master al-Rahmah, and the title of the conference was Master al-Rahmah Presents the Virtues and Benefits of the Month of Ramadan. This lecture was recorded again in Newark in October 2004. Again, October 2004. What does that mean, October 2004? It means that our brother Abu Uways rahimahullah was ill and was taking medication and seeking the help of Allah to still get up, leave his home and his family, come out to give talks and lectures. To come out and give talks and lectures, and he was ill, rahimahullah ta'ala. Allah decreed that the following month, during Ramadan, He, the Glorious, the Most High, would take Abu Uways back to Himself, Al-Aziz. Abu Uways died during the month of Ramadan, the following month, November 2004. That was our brother's last Ramadan. He left us with something that is beneficial up to this day. May Allah forgive him and accept him, and bless and protect the family he's left behind. Currently on the internet circulates a lecture that I recorded at the same conference, but I never did anything with it, and now that lecture is famous. The name of the lecture is We Need a Ramadan. We need a Ramadan. During the conference, there was a speaker scheduled to give his talk, and when his time came to give his lecture, he wasn't there. Abu Uways and the other students were discussing in the stage area on the side the empty slot that needed to be filled. In other words, if the brother didn't show up, someone else had to fill the slot and do the talk. He talked to the students about it, and they all looked at him and smiled. He then got the point, looked at them and said, "So it's on me." And whatever he said after that, rahimahullah. In other words, they looked to him to fill the slot. So when the time to do the talk arrived, he sat unprepared, and We Need a Ramadan was the result of that spontaneous talk. In other words, he wasn't prepared for it. I've traveled with Abu Uways rahimahullah and was accustomed to listening to him speak without preparation. I would then come home, unpack my equipment, and then listen to his talks, knowing some were spontaneous and others were planned by him in advance. I'm sure that you'll agree that Allah blessed him with an ability to just pull information from here and there on the fly and put a talk together without anything in front of him. I would just listen in my home in amazement because I knew that this particular talk was not planned. We Need a Ramadan was one of those talks that people now listen to over and over. Honestly, that talk didn't faze me at all. You see, Abu Uways was scheduled to give his talk on Ramadan, which he did do, and he delivered it. And it was the talk that I'm presenting to you now. It was his scheduled talk that affected me the most. These talks during this particular lecture series is a sign to us what happens when a person works for Islam and the Muslims. He was very sick, but he worked as much as Allah allowed him to. He worked for Islam and the Muslims. He was a worker and a producer, even in sickness. Many wanted him to stay home, but look at what he did. So he's an example of what happens when we have large goals for the religion of Allah, when we prefer our brothers over ourselves. And Allah is the knower, and I praise no one above him, and this is my thinking, and Allah knows best. Earlier I introduced to you the first talk I recorded by Abu Uways, entitled, "You Can't Put Out the Light of Allah." Now, I introduced to you one of the last talks I recorded, along with We Need a Ramadan, entitled, "The Virtues of Ramadan," by Sheikh Abdul Aziz ibn Baz, done at this conference by our brother Abu Uways, rahimahullah. You're listening to Insight Audio, Islamic audio for the world.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Insight Audio.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. أما بعد, these words بإذن ta'ala that we will take, something that we take every year generally around this time, and they are the words of سماحة والد شيخ رئيس العام لإدارة البحوث العلمية والإفتاء والدعوة والإرشاد, and that is Shaykh al-Islam Abdullah Aziz bin Baz. And it was printed in the Majallah al-Iqad, and it's Fadail Shahr Ramadhan. It's Fadail Shahr Ramadhan. And it's not that we would talk about anything else at a time like this, in a place like this, in a circumstance like this. We must talk about the fadail, the virtues of Ramadan, the beauty of Ramadan, the blessing of Ramadan. So this was Abdullah Aziz bin Baz, rahimahullah rahmatul wasi'ah. This was his legacy. This was his legacy. At this munasabah, at this particular time, every year, he would talk about Ramadan. He get the people ready for Ramadan. Push the people towards Ramadan. Get them energetic towards Ramadan. Make them think about Ramadan. And this is something all of us should do in our houses and with our families. In our houses and with our families, we should be talking about Ramadan, discussing Ramadan with our wife or wives, discussing Ramadan with our children, dealing with the issue of Ramadan. For there's so much in this society that can make one forget the month of Ramadan, the symbols of Ramadan, the pillars of Ramadan, the importance of Ramadan. So we take it from what the Sheikh says. He says from Abdullah Aziz bin Baz, and Abdullah bin Baz, to whoever sees it from the Muslims. In other words, whoever from the Muslims sees this waraqah, whoever from the Muslims sees this paper, وَفَقَنِي اللَّهُ وَإِيَّاهُ, may Allah bless, give us the tawfiq and give you لِإِقْتِنَانِ الْخَيْرَاتِ, to achieve the good. وَجَعَلَنِي وَإِيَّاهُ مِنَ الْمُسَارِعِينَ إِلَى الْأَعْمَالِ الصَّالِحَاتِ. Ameen. And make us of those who rush to do good deeds. Ameen. Shaykh bin Baz says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Amma ba'd. O you Muslims. And this says, he used to give a pre-Ramadan talk, and he used to give a talk in Ramadan. Both of these will benefit us, so it doesn't really matter. That we will be in this great month Eid. That's what's coming. Shahrun Alim, a great month. Shahru Ramadhaan, the month of Ramadhan. Shahru Siyam, listen to the names. Shahru Ramadhan, the month of Ramadan. Shahru Siyam, the month of fasting. Shahru Qiyam, the month of standing in prayer. Shahru Tilawatul Quran, the month of reciting the Quran. Sheikh says, Shahru Rizq wal Ghufran, the month where people will be saved and rescued from the hellfire. The month where people will be saved and rescued from the hellfire. The month of Ghufran, forgiveness. Forgiveness. Shahru Sadaqat, the month of giving sadaqah, brother. Wal Ihsan, and doing good. Shahr, month. تفتح فيه أبواب الجنات, opens up the doors of the paradise, gates of the paradise. وتضاعف فيه حسنات, and the good deeds are increased, and evil deeds are minimized. Evil deeds are minimized. Shahrul Qiyam fihi du'a, the month that your du'as will be answered. The month that your du'a, your invocation will be answered. وَتَرْفَعَ الدَّرَجَاتِ, and your level will be lifted. You may be on one certain level, and because of the Shahr of Ramadan, the blessing of Shahr of Ramadan, you'll be raised up. Your good deeds will be raised up, and you will be raised up, and you will be raised up on high levels. ترفع الدرجات. تكفر فيه سيئات, the sins will be forgiven. The sins will be forgiven. شهر يجود الله فيه, the month that Allah Ta'ala is generous in. The month that Allah Ta'ala is generous in. على عباده بأنواع الكرامات, upon his servants with all types of honors and ease. Allah Ta'ala is generous in this month. And He rewards the awliya bil atayat, He gives them. Allah Ta'ala gives the righteous servants. He gives them. شهر جعل الله صيامه أحد أركان الإسلام, the month that Allah made fasting it one of the pillars of Islam. To fast the month of Ramadan is one of the what? The pillars of Islam. And I don't know, we were told we may have non-Muslims here. And if this is such, then this is good, so that they can know something about this month. That this is a month that we probably will talk about more, in which an individual goes from dawn to sunset. Dawn to sunset, without eating, drinking, or having sexual relations. Doing this for the sake of his Creator. Doing this for the sake of his Lord. This is the month of Ramadan that the Muslims practice. This is the month of Ramadan that is part of the legacy of the Muslims and the way of the Muslims. We have some non-Muslims who practice it, and who aren't even Muslims. This is not the way to do it. If you want that your deeds be accepted, deeds be accepted by the Creator of the heavens and the earth, you must enter the fold of Islam. Allah says in the Quran, enter Islam totally. Enter Islam totally. So you can't take part of Islam and say, well, I'm going to fast, and I'm going to be Muslim on this tip. Well, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, but I'm not going to pray. No, you have to do all of Islam. And once you understand that Islam is the truth, and everything else besides Islam is false, that you were created like everyone else in this room to worship the Creator and not associate any partners with Him, then this matter will become very simple to you to understand. Fasama Mustafa alayhi salam fasted this month. Prophet alayhi salam, Mustafa. One of the names of the Prophet Muhammad is Mustafa. Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam fasted this month. Sama Mustafa. Mustafa fasted this month. Wa amar an-nas bi siyamih. He ordered the people to fast it. Wa akhbara, and he informed us that the one who fasted Iman, have Iman, wahtisaban, seeking the reward of Allah. See, when you fast, you have to have that there. Brother, that has to be present. Has to be present. Iman, that Allah legislated this. Wahtisaban, that one will be rewarded. One will be called account for this. He who fasts iman wa ihtisaban, ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbih. Understand that. It will be forgiven for him what he has committed before sins. If we don't get anything out of this particular lecture today, get that. Don't understand anything, understand that man sama Ramadhaan, he who fasts Ramadhaan, iman and ihtisab, believing in the legislation of it, that Allah legislated it, and that Allah will reward him or cause him account for it. غُفِرَ لَهُ مَا تَقَدَّمَ مِن ذَنبِهِ. He will be forgiven for the previous sins he committed. Who amongst us in this room don't need that? You messed up all year. You need that. Slipped, tripped, fell into things we shouldn't have fell into, became neglectful regarding Allah Ta'ala. Why? Yes, we in need of that. وَمَنْ قَامَهُ, he who stands up and prays it. And he prays Qiyam al-Layl, the night prayer. Iman, with Iman once again. وَاحْتِسَابًا, seeking Allah's reward once again. غُفِرَ لَهُ مَا تَقَدَّمَ مِن ذَنبِهِ. He will be forgiven for him what proceeded from him from sins. It will be forgiven for him what proceeded from him of sins. So don't take Qiyam as a lightweight thing. Well, that's only Sunnah. Yeah, Sheikh Muqbil said that. Sheikh Muqbil said it's Sunnah and you can pray it at home. But even so, if you pray it at home, you're praying it. Establish it. Establish it at the house. And if you can't establish it at the house, if you can't establish it at the masjid, establish it at the house, like that. But establish it because there is a great fa'idah, a great benefit to it. And that is that the sins will be forgiven. The sins will be forgiven. This is a month, brothers and sisters, that there's a night in it better than 1,000 nights. Yes, better than 1,000 nights. Sheikh says, "Man harama khayraha," he was forbidden from the goodness of this night. Faqad harama, he has been forbidden. Can you imagine someone who misses Laylatul Qadr? No, so neglectful, so negligent, so unaware, so unconcerned that he misses Laylatul Qadr. So he says, based upon this, he has been forbidden a great good. He has been forbidden a great good. So he said, glorify it. عظموه بالنية الصالحة, with a good intention. واجتهاد, and striving. And this is talking about the month, of course, the whole month of Ramadan. Striving in guarding your fast and establishing your qiyam. Establishing your qiyam. ومسابقة, rushing, racing, إلى خيرات, to do it. Musabaqa in this month, brothers. It's a race. You're vying for the Jannah. This might sound very mild the way that we're putting this out. But we hope that it touches the hearts of those who are aware and who have some understanding. This is of the utmost importance. Musabaqa, strive, brother. Race, brother. Be, brother. Be on the move in this month and doing good deeds. Be on the move in this month like you've never been on the move before. Musabaqa ila khairat wa mubadira, rushing ila tawbat nasuh, rushing to a sincere tawbah. Rushing, musabaqa ila khairat, to that which is good. And what else? Mubadara, rushing ila tawbat nasuh, to a sincere tawbah. Min jami' al-dhunub, sayyat, for all sins and disobediences. You want to cleanse all of that. He didn't say some dhunub. He said jami' dhunub. Wajtahadu, and strive. And this is something we don't do in Ramadan. In Ramadan we may feed someone. In Ramadan we may pray beside a brother. We may tarawih. Ramadan we may give a brother a date to drink. But where is at-tanasih baynakum? Advising between you. Shaykh ibn Baz put this as one of the manners of Ramadan. اجتهدوا في تناسح بينكم. يعني strive in advising one another. In advising one another. وتعاون, help one another. على البر والتقوى, upon fearing Allah Ta'ala, upon having birr, righteousness. This is to be constantly throughout the year, but it's particularly that which should happen in Ramadan. وَتَوَاصِي بِالْمَعْرُوفِ, or as he says, وَتَوَاصِي بِالْعَمْلِ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ, advise one another to order what is good. وَنَاهِي عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ, to forbid and forbid what is bad. وَالدَّعْوَةِ إِلَى كُلِّ خَيْرٍ, that you call to every good. That you call to every good. Why? Sheikh says, لِتَفُوزُوا بِالْكَرَامَةِ, so that you will achieve honor, وَالْأَجْرَ عَظِيمٌ, and great reward. See, these are the ma'ali umur. These are high matters. These aren't the petty matters. These are the high matters. These are the serious matters that brings one close to Allah Ta'ala and places one in good standing with Allah Ta'ala. Now, Siyam, that tissue. I'm not have some. La. Hi. Now, Siyam has many benefits. First benefit, tathir al-nafs, cleansing the self. Tathir al-nafs, cleansing the self. وتحذيبها يعني organizing it, وتزكيتها, purifying it. From what? What are you going to try to clean your nafs from? من أخلاق السيئة, from evil akhlaq, evil moral manners and behavior. والصفات الذميمة, nasty character. فالأشر والبطر والبخل, like stinginess and selfishness and the like. You take that and you transfer it. The Sheikh says, ta'weedaha akhlaq karima, until you get generous, noble characteristics. Kasabr, like patience. والحلم, forbearance. والحلم, I said that. You must have said it twice. والجود, generosity or jud. والكرم, which is quite similar to generosity. والمجاهدة, striving. مجاهدة النفس, striving with the self. فيما يرضى الله, in a matter which pleases Allah. ويقرب إليه, it brings you close to Allah. You're going to strive with yourself and make yourself strive in those matters which please Allah, yaralillah, and bring you close to Allah. From the benefits of fasting is that it shows the servant the need that he has within himself. Hajatuhu, that he has a need in himself. Wada'fuhu, his weakness. Faqruhu, his poorness. His weakness, his poorness, his need. For who? لِرَبِّهِ, for his Lord, لِرَبِّهِ. And therefore he will remember Allah. Oh yes. With the greatest blessings of Allah. And he will remember also, since he is in need, that his brothers are in need. And his brothers are fuqara. And that Allah has blessed them with nourishment. And that this brings about shukr lillah. Thanking Allah tabarak wa ta'ala. Thanking Allah tabarak wa ta'ala. Then he will realize the blessing of Allah upon him. And the ni'mah of Allah, the blessing of Allah upon him, blessing him with obedience. Then he will take care of his brothers. Because of their poorness. Because of their need. وَالْإِحْسَانِ إِلَيْهِمْ, he will do good to them. Allah Ta'ala has pointed to this benefit when he said, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ. O you believe, fasting has been written upon you just as it was written upon those before you. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that you may have taqwa. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explains is that He wrote fasting upon the people so that the people will achieve taqwa. Somebody said, why we gotta fast, man? Why we gotta fast? What's the reason? Your son might ask. Your daughter might ask. Why we gotta fast? We gotta go without food and drink. للتقوى. So he wrote fasting upon us to cleanse us. So it means that fasting is a means to taqwa. And what is taqwa? Taqwa is like this. Ta'at Allah, to obedience to Allah, wa Rasuluh, His Messenger, by doing what you have been ordered and leaving what you have been forbidden, while having sincerity to Allah. And continues, wa muhabbah, in love, wa raghbah, desire for Allah, rahbah, fear of Allah Ta'ala. With this, the servant has fear of Allah from the punishment of Allah Ta'ala and His wrath. So fasting is a great branch of the branches of taqwa. And it's a great qurbah. It's a great qurbah, closest to Allah Azza wa Jalla. وَسِيلَةٌ قَوِيَّةٌ إِلَى التَّقْوَى, strong way to taqwa, Bin Baz says. And it's a way of achieving taqwa in all other areas of dunya and deen. The Prophet ﷺ pointed to this and to some of the benefits of fasting. When he said, O young men, he who amongst you who are able to fast, then do so. Or who among you are able to marry, then do so. And he who is not able, then lower his gaze, or fast, lower his gaze, for regard his private parts. I'll read it again. It's right before me. Ya ma'ashar al-shabab man istata'a minkum al-ba'a. O you youth, he amongst you who has the ability to tazawwuj, to marry. For it is that which will lower the gaze, marriage, and will guard the private parts. وَمَنْ لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ, and he was not able, فَعَلَيْهِ بِالصَّوْمِ, and upon that person is to fast. فَإِنَّهُ وَجَعَ, because it has a means of preventing him from falling to that which is forbidden. It weakens the desire. It weakens the desire. So the Prophet ﷺ explained that fasting is a protection, or whether you can say that which weakens one's desires. So he said that a song, the means of weakening the fasting person's desire. وَوَسِيلَةً means لِتَحَارَتِهِ, to purify him. وَأَفَافِهِ, making him chaste, or chaste, or her chaste, him or her chaste. He said, and that's only because the area for which the blood passes through is made tight through fasting. Fasting makes this tight. Because the person remembers Allah Ta'ala. And this makes the believer stronger in his ibadah. And it makes it harder for the believer to commit ma'asi, to commit sins. Also from the benefits of fasting, I won't keep you long, is that it purifies the body from bad bacteria. And it achieves for the body sihha, health, and strength. He said many of the doctors have recognized this fact. And many forms of illnesses are dealt with in this manner, that they inform you or advise you to fast. So he said Allah Ta'ala informs us that He has obligated fasting upon us, as He obligated that which was on before us. This fast is the month of Ramadhaan. The Prophet ﷺ informed us that it's one of the pillars of Islam, al-Khams, 5 pillars of Islam. This is something that your children should know. A lot of times the children don't know. You ask them what are the 5 pillars of Islam, and they can't tell you. So this time in this month of Ramadan is a time to renew that and revive that. So Allah says, "Oh, you believe, كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون." Fasting has been written upon you, as has been written upon those before you, so that you may achieve taqwa. أيام معدودات, number of days. And Allah revealed شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. The month of Ramadan, which Quran was revealed. Hudan lin-nas, is a guidance for the people. وبينات من الهدى, and explanations of the guidance. والفرقان, an explanation. فمن شهد منكم شهرا فليصمه, he who witnesses for you the month and fast it. ومن كان مريضا وعلى سفر فعدة من أيام أخرى, and he who's sick or on journey in other days, يريد الله بكم يسرا ولا يريد بكم اليسرا. Allah wants for you ease, He doesn't want for you hardship. وَلَتُكْمِلُوا عِدَّتَهُ, so that you complete the number. وَتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ, and to glorify Allah on the fact that He has guided you. وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ, and so that you may be grateful. And the hadith of Ibn Umar, which everyone in this room must know. Everyone must know this hadith. Ibn Umar's hadith, Bunya Islam al-Khams. Islam has been built upon 5. Shahadatu an la ilaha illallah, by witness and none is right to be worshipped except Allah. Wa anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, and that Muhammad is the Messenger of Allah. Wa iqam as-salah, to establish the zakat. Wa ita'i zakat, to give the zakat. Wa sawma Ramadan, wa hajj al-bayt, and to fast for Ramadan and make hajj to the bayt. Everyone should know that hadith. The hadith of Ibn Umar, that Islam is built upon 5. So I will end with this statement of the Shaykh. Know, Muslims, that Sawm, fasting, is a great righteous action and it has a great reward, particularly fasting Ramadan. But Allah Ta'ala has made it obligatory on the servant. He has made it the means of great foes. It has been related in the Hadith Sahih that all of the actions of Adam are 10. 10 for him. 10 in relationship to him. إلا 700 up to 700 except fasting. فإنه لي وأنا أجزي فيه. For verily it's me and I reward for it. Because he has left his desire and his food and his drink for my sake. And for the fasting person, 2 times of happiness. One when he breaks his fast, and one when he meets his Lord, Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. And of course the breath of the fasting person is like musk with Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. This is some of the narrations regarding Ramadan. Also Ramadan, when Ramadan comes, the Jannah is open and the hellfire is closed and the shayateen are enchained. Brothers and sisters, this is a fursa. Brothers and sisters, this is an opportunity. Brothers and sisters, don't miss it. Don't sleep on it. Don't be neglectful of it. Don't let shaitan trick you. Don't let the matters of the dunya trick you. Don't let those things take you away from it that are of no importance whatsoever. For Allah Ta'ala has set the Jannah up and as if called to us that we're for it and it's for us. But all we have to do is strive and make an effort, locking the shayateen up, closing or shutting the doors of hellfire, opening doors, paradise, giving us extra help, benefit. I know I have not expressed it in the best way, and maybe have not related to you that which you probably want to hear, but I think this is enough, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, to get you running, and get you together, get you